Guys, welcome to What's Barking Local. It's good to be with you on a Wednesday, a gorgeous Wednesday across Central Virginia, the Commonwealth, and the world here on the I Love Seaville Network. I am Jerry Miller. This is What's Barking Local, powered by Animal Connection, Central Virginia's longest-running, all-natural pet store. Good program lined up for you today. Pattie Boden, our star, will join us in a matter of moments as we spotlight Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge, a phenomenal nonprofit that is really impacting animals across the Commonwealth, dogs across the Commonwealth, and giving them a chance at better quality of life and better home environments. Harris Tolber is our director. I think, Harris, on that note, why don't we go to the studio cam, my friend? We will welcome everyone to the set. And on that note, you see Kimberly. You see Pattie Boden. Hi. You see Jamie, who is cool, calm, and collected. I can very much tell. And Frank Conley and Merle, the Beagle Basset Hound lovable dog. I'm going to get out of the way. And Pattie Boden, the show is yours with Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge.
Wow. Well, it's a party today. I don't think we've ever had this many people on set before, but here we go. So we're talking about Dogs Deserve Better, and of course they do. And Kimberly Hawk, my friend, is very active. She was active in previous years with Houses of Wood and Straw, and then saw a different need for Dogs Deserve Better. And she's just doing incredible things and helping dogs get out of really bad situations and into good homes. And we just want to find out more about what you're doing. And we have some foster parents with us, and a failed foster parent that's now an adopter, and a gorgeous little dog. And we're just going to have some fun with it, and talk about you and what you're doing.
I love it. Slide her over the mic, and let's let Kimberly Hawk, the founder of the Central Virginia chapter, jump in the mix. Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge. Put it in perspective.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having us, Pattie. We really appreciate it. So Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge works with dogs in Charlottesville and all the surrounding counties in Central Virginia. We work with a lot of folks who are living at the poverty line or below. But our philosophy is just because you don't have a lot of money doesn't mean you don't deserve a pet. So we do a lot of outreach in the community. We help build fences for dogs that are chained. We help with dog food, with vet bills, with spay and neuter. Spay and neuter is key, to controlling the pet population. Now, there are some incidents that will come up on where the dogs are obviously being neglected or they're injured. In those situations, we will talk to the owners about possibly rehoming them. And many times they agree that, they're just in over their head and they would like their dogs to be in a home where they're not chained all the time, or they can afford the vet care that they need. So that's just a quick nutshell of what we do.
I love it. And on set, Pattie Boden, we have Frank Conley. And you know what? I think, Frank, I would fall under this category as well. A failed foster parent. I feel like if one of the dogs came my way and I was expected to foster Merle, and this dog is obviously so lovable and so chill and so relaxed, the absolute antithesis of my German Shepherd wolf pack, I also would fall in love with Merle. Is this the dog that caused you to fail being a foster parent?
It certainly is. Merle, also known as Mellow Fellow.
Mellow Fellow.
He's so mellow. We've had beagles, my wife and I, and we don't have children, and we had up to 6 dogs at one time.
Get out.
And I was very happy to get down to 4. And my wife goes, well, why can't we just foster a dog? And I said, honey, foster, come on, that's word. That's also known as sucker. And guess what? We thought we'd found him a home, but we fell in love with him, and our other dogs fell in love with him so much that we couldn't give him up. And we found another beagle for the other folks who were going to take Merle through Dogs Deserve Better. So both of us had a great outcome to that story, and Merle has just been a wonderful pet.
I love it, and I can totally see that. Pattie, what are you seeing over there?
It's a BOGO offer, right?
Yeah.
That's great. So that's a lot of fun.
And make sure you're grabbing that mic.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have to.
We're sharing.
We're sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're sharing a lot. So Yeah, it's really nice to see how they can just assimilate into the family so quickly. I mean, they really just want a chance to be loved by a family and find some normalcy, whatever normalcy can turn out to be. But just something different than they haven't had before, and it's really nice to see.
I love it, and put in perspective the need, and we'll segue from you, Kimberly, to Jamie. The need for awesome foster families like Jamie's family at Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge.
Well, fosters and adopters save lives. I say that all the time. If we didn't have a foster network, we couldn't do what we do. I mean, we're out in the field on a Saturday afternoon, sometimes 3, 4 o'clock, and an animal's surrendered to us. So the first thing we have to do is usually go to vets, emergency hospital, because we got to get them up to date on vaccines. But in the meantime, our adoption and foster coordinator, Roz Willis, is on the phone calling people like Jamie, selling them on the dog. Oh, so adorable and so sweet. And do you have a place in your home? And really, we couldn't do what we do without them, because where are we going to take them? We would just have to leave them there until we found a place. So then they go to the foster's home, and we usually recommend they're quarantined away from their other pets at first until they can get to the vet and get a full vetting. But yeah, fosters are what makes it work, really.
I love it. I love it. So 2 sizzle reels there. First one about Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge, and then the second one, Harris, about the importance of foster families. One of the foster families on set, and Jamie, and I noticed when you walked into our studio, you were immediately drawn to our I Love Seaville mascot, Liza,
Yes.
who is a rescue. I mean, to the point where you beeline to Liza. So you have treating canines and dogs in your blood, and absolutely love animals. I'm going to get out of the way and the who, what, when, where, why, the perspective of being a foster family for Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge. Put that in perspective for us.
Yeah, so I would say my husband and I kind of fell into it. We have 2 dogs of our own that are both rescues, and we just kind of had a little bit of extra room. And I saw our first foster, we got into it last November, and I saw a photo of, it was a dog named Buck, and Buck had nowhere to go, and because there wasn't a foster family for him, he was stuck out on the chain until they could find somebody. And so I called my husband and I said, this dog is on the chain and we've got to get him off and inside, because it was cold and snow and rain and all the horrible things.
Not good conditions for dogs.
No.
Yeah.
So we agreed to take Buck, and it's kind of history from there. Buck was adopted about a month after we got him, and I cried and cried when he left, because you absolutely fall in love with the dogs, and I think that's part of the process. It's the dogs need you to love them. The dogs need you to put your whole heart into them, and so yes, it hurts when they leave. I get that question all the time. How can you let the dog go? I was going to ask you that question. Yeah, and it's really hard, and I cry every single time, but I get photos from the families of how happy the dogs are in their new homes, and it just makes me beam with joy, because we see the dogs when they first come in, and they're dirty and they need a bath and they don't know how to exist in a home, and you watch them every single day grow into learning how to be a pet, and it's a really, really beautiful thing. And we've just really enjoyed it. So we're on our 3rd foster. Our 2nd foster was with us for 3 months, and she was adopted, and now we have our 3rd foster, and she is getting adopted. Yay. So right. I'm very, very excited.
I love it. And Mary Burkholz is chiming in. She says, hey, Pattie, I love Kimberly and her great work. Thank you to both of you for all you do to help at-risk animals. Mary, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow. Sherry Chris Breeden is watching, Calvin Wilkerson, David Hilliard, Jamie Naughton, Heather Lindeman, and a cast of other characters here on What's Barking Local. If you guys could like and share the stream on any channel you're watching, Tim Ryan in Crozet, Chris Turner in Richmond. Pattie, your store, Animal Connection, I feel in a lot of ways is the epicenter for celebrating and championing positivity and good energy that comes within the animal community in Central Virginia. Your show, What's Barking Local, is spotlighting Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge. Talk to us about what you're feeling here when an organization like Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge is having such an impact.
Well, it's great because I mean I've known a lot of these groups since pretty much when they started. So to see how they grow and see the difference they're making, and it's just something different every day, and how beautifully they're able to handle any kind of situation they've been thrown with poise and grace. And I always wonder, if I were going to approach a family that I knew had a dog that was maybe not in the best situation, just how in the world would I, basically you're telling them you have an ugly baby. I mean, you're not doing things appropriately. I don't know if I could do that without getting very emotional. It's nice for me to help them after they've found a better home, but to do what Kimberly does and to negotiate these things, I think is just a real talent. It wouldn't be something that just anybody could do. It takes a lot of someone that's maybe been in the business world like you have, and the powers of good negotiation, and you know what to do.
What do you think, Kimberly? Join us here and put your role in perspective.
Okay. So it's all about having respect and empathy. It's easy to drive by a house and see a chained dog and make judgments and think, they must be horrible people. But then when you get in front of them and you get to know them, you realize, you don't know what path
the situation is.
People have walked in, right, and their backgrounds and their family situation. So the majority of the folks we work with, they love their dogs. They may live in a single wide trailer with 4, 5, 6 people living in there, and they have a big German Shepherd and a baby inside. So they love their dog, but the dog is knocking over the child. There can be all these different circumstances as to why the dogs are chained. And when you treat them with respect and you just introduce yourself and say, hey, I'm here to help. What can I do for you? We can take your dog to be spayed and neutered. Do you have flea and tick preventative? And they're usually not threatened by that, and very friendly and open. So that's been my experience.
Or would they like a different kind of shelter? I said, we have that available. Would you like a house or something
a
for your dog
fence?
to live? A fence?
What was the influence with launching Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge?
Well, I had worked with the House Project for several years.
Yeah.
And they do really great work. I just had a little bit of a different mission where I wanted to do some more rescue, So an opportunity arose with Dogs Deserve Better, which they're our parent company. We fall under their 501c3. They're out of Smithfield, Virginia. So they have Good News Rehab Center. They bought Michael Vick's old place where he used to fight the dogs, and they turned it into a dog rehab center.
Awesome.
And so there was an opportunity to become a branch of theirs, and I was very interested, and it's been a good fit. So they started many years ago taking dogs off chains before anybody else was. So we were kind of on the same page.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Pattie, the mic is yours over there. Put into perspective what you love of Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge and the evolution as someone who's very big into branding and someone who in 17 years at Animal Connection has built a powerful brand in Animal Connection. I've been impressed with how Kimberly and Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge have built their brand across social and have told their story.
Right. Their social media reach is huge. I mean, not only do they have a lovely website with a lot of case studies so people can see what they're all about, but if you're watching their Facebook pages and their Instagram, you're following the stories of these dogs from the time that they go into the property until the dogs get with a foster family if needed, or even afterwards if they're celebrating special anniversaries, just whatever. You are following the stories of these dogs the entire way, and it's compelling. It's it's like people get hooked on these evening soap operas or whatever they're called.
The story.
A series, evening stories or daytime serials, whatever. It's a story, and it's a success story. Even if it doesn't always work out, there's still a success involved. So, we need a lot more good news and good things going on in this crazy world that we're in. And it's a story that you want to follow. You want to look forward every day to see what good things are happening to these dogs next.
I love it. Sizzle reel that Harris Tolber for us. And let's get Frank in the mix. Things that you like of Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge. Things you like about what this organization is doing across Central Virginia.
Well, it's been great to help them, to be part of their process. We decided to foster, and we had 4 other dogs, and Merle came to us, and the volunteer, Gina, who brought him, he was in bad shape when we got him, and Gina told us he was in much worse shape prior to that. We set him down in the backyard, our fenced backyard with the other 4 dogs. 3 minutes later, he was chasing them around the backyard. That's Gina awesome. Just sort of burst out crying. She couldn't believe. And she said it was the first time she'd seen him run, and he just sort of stole our hearts right then and there. And we got him on some great food, some great companionship with our other dogs, and he now just loves sleeping in the down comforter in our bed with the Chihuahua perched on top of him.
So he found his home.
So he found his forever home. And he just has so much personality, and we stay in great contact with Gina. She gets pictures all the time of what he's doing, hanging out with our other dogs. And we especially enjoyed going to the birthday party for Dogs Deserve Better and hearing more about what they do for other dogs in the community. It's just a wonderful thing.
That answer. I love that answer. Mary Burkhold says, I agree wholeheartedly with Kimberly's approach to the owners of these dogs. Job well done, Kimberly. Jamie, your thoughts on Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge, why you contribute so much of your most precious commodity, which is your time, to this organization?
Absolutely. So I find that I've always loved animals, and I didn't really know how to kind of interact in that realm. And I'm a law student, and I'm studying to be a public defender. And I find that the mission of Dogs Deserve Better, working with people and meeting people's needs where they are, is so fundamental to who I am. And it's what I want to be doing for the rest of my life, and being able to help animals in that is just the icing on the cake for me.
That's awesome. So you have ambitions of using the legal mind and this brilliant mind that you have for the law to potentially facilitate and be a steward or a champion of animals that are in need? How so?
Well, I don't see myself going into animal law. I absolutely would provide legal help once I'm a lawyer, if need be, to the organization. But I think it's more about, as a mission, that meeting people where they are and not going in with judgment and trying to evaluate a person's needs and how you can best meet those needs. That's what I want to do as a member of the criminal bar and being a public defender, but also being able to use my skills and my love and my family's love for animals, to help an organization that's doing the same mission.
I love it. I love it. Jason Peterson, thank you for watching. Gail Grasso, thank you for watching. Donna Marie Hatch says, I love Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge. When you hear this stuff, Kimberly Hawk, what does it make you feel?
So grateful.
Yeah.
I hope I don't get emotional right now, but
you should.
The volunteers, my leadership team, people like Pattie, fosters, adopters. We started this branch a year ago.
Right. I remember.
And we just hit the ground running. Donors, I have to thank our donors,
yeah,
because we could not do this without our donors. So I just feel so grateful. I feel like we're just one big team, and we always try to support each other. Animal rescue can be very emotional. There's a lot of highs, but there's a lot of lows. And, we recently lost a cow that we were trying desperately to save.
Cows?
Yes.
Cows.
Yeah, everybody was teasing me, cows deserve better too. I was like, yeah. We recently took 2 cows, and one of them was a downed cow, and unfortunately, she was too damaged. She was never going to be able to get up again. And that was heartbreaking. And people were following her story. And, but we had to announce it when we had to have her humanely put down. We tried for almost a month to get her to stand. But, yeah, so it's an emotional thing, but the rewards are amazing. it's worth it.
And you know, I think a lot of the emotional gain and the emotional gratification and the sense of celebrating animals that need to be celebrated and championed is the mission of why you launched Animal Connection.
Absolutely, and you know, it's great when you have everything at your disposal. I mean, you're well blessed with, you know, you're able to buy food and provide good homes and extra treats and whatnot. I mean, that's how your family runs. But when your family doesn't run that way, to be able to find, you know, somebody like Kimberly or two that can help, like I said earlier, help the dogs find some normalcy, or, you know, create a new normalcy that's, you know, better for their health and their mental and spiritual well-being is a fabulous thing. I have a question, and this is for you and for you guys too. So when you're getting ready to bring a dog into another home, what differently do you ask your fosters to do, you know, to prepare a caring, loving, warm environment, you know, so this dog is more at ease, you know, from the very start?
Good question.
And I would like to ask you that, and I would like to ask you guys if there's anything special you do to prepare your home or your other dogs, you know, for the new guys.
Okay, well, if it's a new foster, we make sure we prep them ahead of time. If there's a cat in the house, we always say, you know, cat introductions have to go slow, so you got to keep them separated at first. Just if a dog is fearful, it's a good idea to have a really large crate with a blanket over it and leave the door open with a dog bed and treats and toys in there, because it makes them feel like they have a safe little den. Some of the dogs we take in are fearful because they've been under-socialized and chained, and they just need a little extra love and attention and like some gentle guidance and reinforcement. And that's all I can think of. I don't know. What do you guys think?
What do you think? Let's get Jamie in the mix here.
Yeah, so we've had 3 fosters, and every one of them has been different and have needed much different things. So it's a matter of learning the dog's personality and seeing how they're interacting. So luckily, our 2 dogs that we have are extremely good with new dogs. We usually have them meet outside on neutral ground, and then we kind of come in the house together, and then the new dog gets to sniff around. And we have a very, very large crate that any size dog really could get in, and a nice dog bed that gets cleaned before they come, and the crate gets cleaned, and everything's, you know, ready for the new dog. And they just they either fall in, and honestly, the 3 we've had, they follow our dog's lead. So if our dog is hanging out, they're hanging out. If our dogs want to go outside, they want to go outside. So it just, they do a lot of the parenting process of turning them into a house pet, I would say. With our second foster, it did take a lot more effort and time on our part. My husband and I, the foster was extremely fearful of men, and that was very difficult for my husband. And so he hand fed her to try to create some trust. And that worked miracles. Food came from him, and eventually she was going up to him to get pet on the head and learning that he was safe, and just kind of doing things like that, whatever they need, so that when we have an adopter come meet the dog, we can explain the dog's personality, but also convey their needs.
Great answer. Frank. We got to get Frank in the mix here. What are you thinking on that topic, Frank?
We have sort of specialized in beagles, and beagles are fantastic pack animals. They stick together, they pile on each other, they're very mellow dogs. They like to either sleep or hunt, and when they're not hunting, they're sleeping. And we introduced Merle in our backyard, fenced backyard. Everything went fine. We bring them inside. We crate train all of our dogs, and they get fed in their crates. That way they have a safe place to eat, and there's no competition for the food. Merle adapted to that totally. And we also have them crate trained because they travel with us. And so Merle likes to come up to our place in Maryland. He's going to get introduced to a sailboat this summer.
Wow.
And we're going to find out if he's a sailing pup. But the Beagles are just great pack animals. So we've had a great time introducing dogs in, and lucky for us, Merle here, as I introduced him earlier, Merle, mellow fella.
I see that. Is he on the CBD at Animal Connection? I mean, oh my gosh, here.
I wish everybody could see what Merle's doing right now, because man, is he relaxed.
He is so chill. I'm sure we're showing Merle, aren't we, Harris? Yeah, people are seeing Merle right now.
He's out for the count.
We have a lot of feedback here, and let me relay some of the feedback. So Roz Willis says Jamie is a rock star foster. Anything you want to say to Roz over there?
Thank you, Roz. That is too kind.
Roz Willis is all about there. Let's see here. We got Linda Cooley-Nash. Kimberly and her team are truly amazing humans. I wish I lived closer so I could help. Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge are doing it the right way. Marie Zikadari Macaulay. Not much more rewarding than fostering and watching the transformation of dogs to inside off the chain to a life full of love. Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge. Truly an awesome group. Kimberly Hawk, what do you got to say about this here?
Wow. Yeah, all of those women are amazing. I just feel very, like I said before, very grateful for all the support, and it keeps us going, you know, when something frustrating happens or difficult with one of our fosters. That can be really hard, and something did happen over the weekend, but we're dealing with it.
What happened?
We have a dog who is being a little dog selective right now.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means he's met 30 no, dog-wise. He's met like 30 dogs, but he's decided he doesn't like 2 of them.
Okay.
And then there was an altercation, a little fight.
Okay.
So that's a very stressful thing. So now we have to completely change our strategy with him. And this is a dog who had a collar embedded in his neck. It's not Danny Boy, it's Dakota.
Okay.
We pulled him along with animal control was involved in that. And, you know, he just suddenly
Something
snapped. Yeah.
Right.
So we're currently working, I'm waiting for my home office to tell me there's a trainer, a behavior specialist in Virginia Beach that may be able to work with him. And if she can't work with him, we've got another person over in Augusta County that we're going to reach out to. So that's a stressful situation, but we're going to do everything we can to set him up for success. So now we know, okay, he should probably be in a home with no other dogs. So we got to find a home where there's one person, and he loves people. There's been no incidents with people.
You might have to talk to an animal communicator and find out why he doesn't like certain dogs or certain people.
Yeah, I mean, we're open to anything because we made the choice to pull him out of that situation to improve his life. So when there's a little bit of a challenge, you can't just give up on them. You have to just move forward and change your strategy. So I support. I mean, I appreciate all this support because when you hear stuff like that, motivates you. It brings you back to, okay,
Totally get
It's
it.
a challenge.
what we're doing is good. It's worth it.
Our buddy Al Schornberg at Keswick Vineyards watching right now. Al, you know I love you. I'm throwing this to you. You know, the struggles and the trials and tribulations of running a nonprofit like Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge are almost synonymous with being an entrepreneur and business owner. Like the highs could be these this Everest peak like highs, and then the lows are like these doldrums, and it's like, you know, where you sometimes hard to shake. And I feel like one of my coaches said this best. It's like, it's never as good as you think, but it's never as bad as you think. And it's always about taking 2 steps forward. Even if you're taking 1 step back, you're still getting 1 step ahead.
That makes good sense.
And I feel like that's a lot of like what life is about. And what running a business is about, and running a charity is about. Throwing it back to you there, Kimberly.
Oh, I actually love that saying, and that's great because I do tend to stress about bad situations, and you know, days later we'll look back and say, you know,
It wasn't as bad.
It wasn't as bad as I was feeling at the time. So those are words of wisdom, really. I agree with that sentiment.
What do you think, Pattie Boden?
Well, I agree with that too. I mean, you know, for us, I mean, just like today, it's a beautiful day outside, and we were slow. So, you know, finding creative things to bring you back on top. This it's what business owners do every day. It's what rescue people do every day. You're going to have highs, you're going to have lows, but nobody said it was going to be easy. So you do learn to deal with it, and you learn how to, basketball players do it too. Come on, after last week's games and this week's games, they were down low and they came back. You got to believe, and you've got to never give up if it's something that you believe in strongly.
And I think what we're seeing here is two ladies that have made their passion their profession. And when you do that, you truly never work a day in your life. That's how I feel. Alicia Hammer says, so grateful to have Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge helping outdoor dogs in Augusta County. They are an amazing group. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Kimberly, for Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge.
Well, can I say,
sure.
Alicia Hammer's with Augusta Dog Adoptions, and
Okay.
they are an amazing group, and they've been around a lot longer than we have. So actually, some of those ladies are my mentors. I talked to one of them yesterday for some advice. So they're great. Augusta Dog Adoptions. You can like them on Facebook.
This program, What's Barking Local, on 7 channels across the I Love Seaville network, including Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge, Kimberly Hawk's page, Pattie Boden's page, and Animal Connections page. Pattie, anything else on your mind here?
Well, we're talking about challenges, and Kimberly's challenges don't just stay in the Charlottesville or the local area. She's been really active in government and in Richmond, and you have taken on some of the big boys to try to get some things better for dogs.
You're going to put that in perspective for us?
Well, the past several years, we've been trying to get some legislation passed in Richmond. We would love to see anti-tethering, anti-chaining, but I don't believe that's going to happen anytime soon in Virginia. The hunting lobby, the Farm Bureau, there's just some folks out there lobbying
Strong
against
lobbyists.
this. Yes. So we're making baby steps. And so, at the General Assembly every January, I try to make it there for Humane Lobby Day, and some other times just to testify in front of sometimes the House subcommittee or the Senate subcommittee, and convince them to vote the way I would like them to vote, which is always to...
You wear many hats, don't
yes,
you?
Yes.
I like
and
that.
You go. That's the thing. So many people would say, I could never do that. I could never go and talk in front of all these legislators. I couldn't even take the time to go to Richmond and deal with this for a day. But you go. You make it a point. That's what you're going to do, and you brave up and you do it. And that's one thing that's really great about you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of folks that go too in the area. A lot of folks are.
We got. We're gonna close the show with a lot of positivity. You might have to help me with this name, Juin Hairbrandt, Juin. I'm sorry if I'm messing your first name up. She says, "You ladies rock." The Good Old Boys Network. Kimberly is going after them. Kim Shiflett says, "Thank you for helping the animals." Thank you, Kim, for watching us. Brian Redisky says, hey, Pattie, look fantastic. Love Animal Connection. Judy Orenstein says, hello, Pattie. Great show. I just wanted to relay everybody's kind words to the show. She says, tell her we miss her at Windmill Point.
Oh, I miss Windmill Point, too. It'll be crab season in just a week or two. I need to get down there.
I love it. And if you guys can like and share this show, it puts Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge and Animal Connection in even more positive spotlight. Jamie and Frank, we want to give you an opportunity to close with anything on your mind before we allow Kimberly and Pattie the opportunity to close. What's on your mind?
I would encourage everyone to think about fostering and absolutely reach out either to me or anyone at Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge, because they're very encouraging. It's really worth it, I promise. So please do it.
I love it. How about you, Frank? What do we got?
The fostering is just a great experience. The love these dogs bring to us and the love that we can bring to them, it will warm your heart, and the success stories that you learn about through Dogs Deserve Better are it'll make your day, make your month, make your year, make you really feel like a winner.
I love it. That was a great answer right there. Kimberly,
Yes.
what do you have on your mind?
Well, I want to thank you for having us, Pattie and Jerry. This was a great opportunity to get the word out. I would just like to ask our supporters, like, keep doing what you're doing. Share for us. If you can't foster, when you share these dogs, a lot of times we end up finding fosters and adopters through people that share our posts. So just thank you for your support, and keep on supporting us so we can do the work in the field.
Pattie Boden, your turn.
All right. Well, if you think that maybe for some limitation that you can't do it, like maybe you can't afford the food or the vet care or the supplies that's needed, reach out to us at Animal Connection, because we have suppliers that will donate things or help find resources. You know, we have a lot of connections for anything that you might need, and if you don't, we'll figure out what it is. And then the other thing is too is, you know, come to different events. I mean, my store sponsors several events, and especially our Dog Fest in the fall, where you can come and you can see rescue groups, you can meet people like Kimberly and see the success stories of the different dogs. I mean, you can meet these dogs and just see, well, you know, what a beautiful thing it can be. But Dog Fest is September the 29th. It'll be in Charlottesville Art Park, and it's a great opportunity for you to find, you know, if you haven't had a dog before, to find out what resources are going to be available to you so you can successfully have a dog.
Love
or cat.
it. Love
they
it.
do cats too.
Love it. Great close right there. Roz, and you're going to appreciate this, Roz Willis, fostering 1,000% saves lives. From
Excellent.
Roz Willis right there. We have Chris and Croze saying, this show has stolen my heart today. Fantastic job, ladies. June, Hairbrand, it's actually June. Thank you for correcting me there, June. She said, I failed at fostering 4 times. I have 4 beagles who have stolen my heart, and now they're my babies. Carol Stanton says, Kimberly, you have such an amazing way of speaking to cold calls and publicly. That is a huge talent, and it's imperative in getting a foot in the door and the word out to the public about dogs deserve better Blue Ridge. Well, Carol Stanton, I think you just made Kimberly's day right there. If I could feel the energy on the set. Is that fair?
Well, yeah, she's an amazing volunteer. She does a lot for us too. Yeah.
It is What's Barking Local. This show's been great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Like and share the show. Give it a share, and that spotlights Animal Connection and Dogs Deserve Better Blue Ridge. It's Wednesdays at 3 p.m. We've gone 15 minutes over, and the reason we did is because the show's been amazing today. What's Barking Local, thanks to Animal Connection, 17 years of successfully being Central Virginia's all-natural pet store. My name is Jerry Miller for Pattie Boden, for Kimberly Hawk, for Jamie, for Frank, and for the chillest dog I've ever seen in my life, the Mellow Fellow.
Merle.
This is What's Barking Local on the I Love Seaville Network. We'll see you next week, guys.
All right.
Good work.
All right.
Good work. It's a wrap. You did well.
It didn't seem like we went 15 minutes over.
Yeah, we're at 3:45.
In a blink of an eye.
Joining us. It's a testament to you guys.